Hey guys, welcome back to Mowers and Blowers. This is part 3 of my John Deere STX46 riding mower project. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year coming up. It is the day after Christmas Day, and the mail finally came, and I did get my new John Deere ignition switch. So this switch was cheap. It was only 11 bucks or 9 bucks or something like that. And it also came with like a couple of freebies here, you know, extra keys and canterbury, you know, those things for mountain climbing. Anyway, so the good thing about this one is it fits the John Deere key, and of course it clicks. Whereas this busted one didn't click, just freewheeled. So it's the same 5-prong, and I'm gonna put it on and see if we can crank it. Well, that wasn't good. So I tried to crank it, and nothing happened, and all I did was see smoke coming out. And so I just yanked this out again, and it stopped. So, obviously we have a short problem. That sucks. I have to figure it out. So I rewired new ground wire. I found out that it was the ground wire that was all burnt up, went all the way down there. There's actually 3 ground wires, one thick one to the battery, and 3 smaller ones. Those 2 thin ones there lead to, one of them goes to the safety switch for the seat. The other one goes to the solenoid, right? And the other one leads to the ignition switch. So that one here from the ignition switch to ground was all burned out. It touched the positive wire. I don't know whether or not that was the reason why, is that it was touching it. It was touching it only because it was burnt, you know, but I don't know whether or not that was the reason why. So I've put a new ground wire there. I've insulated the slightly burnt but touched positive wire. I still really don't know why, you know, it shorted like that, you know, so I'm afraid that if I connect the switch again, it'll short again, and so I don't get it, you know, I'm not sure. It's, I'm thinking it might be a safety switch thing, but I'm just not sure. It shouldn't cause a short, you know, so I think the only thing I can do is just try it, you know. So while I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with the electrical, why it shorts, I figured I'd do some more investigating by taking the thing off, and of course I broke some parts while getting that damn thing off. But I needed to clean this area anyway, and it doesn't look like the throttle linkage is moving very well because it seems like it's kind of stuck. I was messing with the governor thing and it's kind of like stuck. I know for sure that in there it's got to be a rat's nest, and looking inside the carburetor, and it's pretty dirty. And I'd have to take this whole thing apart anyway to clean it up. So this gives me a better look at it, and I'm going to take the engine cover off because you know, it has to be done. Just videotaping this stuff so I know where all the screws went, and looks like this thing could come off right now. So I just went to put on a mask because you don't want to get that virus from rat feces. Bantavirus? Yeah, look at that. It actually looks like this thing has been out in the rain quite a bit. Surprised it doesn't have much rust, you know. But this hasn't been run in a while, I don't think. So maybe not as good as a deal as I thought it would be. But either way though, it's going to take some to get this cleaned up. See that? Evidence is that, you know, a lot of wetness, moisture was inside already. Gross. It's actually not that deep, but as you can see, the magneto's done. This wire's all chewed up. It's obviously a 2-cylinder because it's got well, maybe it isn't. Where's this wire go? You know what? This might be the cause of my short. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm going to vacuum that up. My first rat carcass I've ever seen. Gross. So am I having a good time? No, I'm not having a good time. Panels have to be taken off the sides because there's rat feces everywhere inside. Gotta cover my mouth so I don't get hantavirus. It's pretty good. There's a mess. It's much better than before, for sure. Got all the fins clear. Gonna have to replace that magneto for sure. Didn't you say? Alright, well that's enough for today. I've had enough. Just hope I don't get hantavirus. Damn rats. Have to do some research on the internet and figure out why it's shorting. And get to it when I get to it. So I figured out that the new ignition switch that I bought, the letters were different from what I needed. So it was off by a couple, like the ignition and the battery was opposite of what this was. So that's why I had a short. So I bought the wrong switch, was the reason why it shorted. I could simply just move the wires around in the harness to accommodate that, but I wasn't 100% sure that this thing was wired correctly the way this was. So I went and bought a new switch. It wasn't a big deal. It's only like 10 bucks. So while I'm waiting for my second switch, I, you know, cleaned out the rat's nest in the engine area, and I'm also waiting for a new magneto. So that was another $13 or $15, something like that. Not too bad. So while I was waiting for, you know, the new magneto and the ignition switch, I figured, you know, I know for sure that this carburetor needs to be cleaned. So I'm going to take the carburetor apart and see what we find. So this whole situation doesn't look too good. You know why? Because I just disconnected the fuel line from the carburetor, and has a lot of fuel in it, but there is absolutely no flow from the gas tank out, which means the line's probably clogged, you know. Got nothing coming out, you know. And what little trickle did come out was this brown syrupy stuff. So there's a blockage in the fuel line. So I'm going to disconnect this one over here and see if it flows. So I've disconnected this part here, and it's nothing comes out. Unless this here. Let me see. Yep, the fuel shutoff switch is on, and it trickles. So I've got a blockage right at that nozzle where the fuel line is. That's great. More work. More work for me to do. See? Fuel shutoff is off now, so it should free flow. And it's has fuel in it. So there's a blockage in this line right there. Boy. First I'm going to take this carburetor off. So it's just two 10mm bolts. So it comes off just like that. Breather tube. It's all trashed. It's not looking promising, man. Looks trashed in there. Linkage is seized. Yeah, that's not good. I may need to get a new carburetor. So my $65 John Deere is so far starting to rack up some expenses. All in all, though, it's still a John Deere, you know. So carburetor came off. I'm gonna take a picture of the linkage so I remember how it goes. Always good to do that. Boom. Yeah, linkage is all seized, so all means the butterfly flaps are all seized too into place. I'm sure when I get this off and open the bowl, it's going to look completely trashed, and may not be worth it to go through all the work to try to unseize that. So these carburetors are relatively cheap, and I'll price it out and see how much it is. Save me a lot of work by just getting a new one. Have you seen anything like that before? I actually have. That is just horrible. Horrible. It's trashed. Definitely not worth it. Definitely. Gonna price out a new carburetor and save me a lot of work. I always say, while you have everything off and it's convenient for you to do so, always clean up this area, and you'll feel a lot better about it. Use some brake parts cleaner to clean that area right there, because it's a lot of grease and grime and built up stuff. But you always want to protect the paint, because this brake parts cleaner will take paint off. Just not a lot, you know, just get the parts where you can't get a brush into, you know, or at least a pain to do it. Let it simmer for a little bit, and it'll really that part right there, a lot of stuff. Sometimes carburetor cleaner too, but remember, all this stuff is very flammable. So let it percolate for a little bit, and use a little brush, get into the areas there, and then coat it off with a little bit of water. Doesn't that look much better? Feel good about yourself. At least I do. I'm going to check out what's going on with that fuel tank now. So it's just 2 Phillips screws over here, 2 over there, 2 on the other side, to remove at least the outer shroud of the fuel tank. I have the garage closed today. It's like 20 degrees outside, and it's pretty cold, but you know what? My wife bought me this utility heater for Christmas. She says, as long as you're going to be working in the garage, you might as well be warm. That's not how she really talks, by the way. So I removed the 6 Phillips screws, and it wouldn't budge. So apparently there was this part here. 2 10mm bolts into this apparatus. And it looks like this whole thing comes right off. Man, this whole thing comes off? I don't really want the whole thing to come off. Whatever it takes, man. So, they really put that thing together well. So you have to actually have a ton of tools. If you're going to be working on, you know, small engines and stuff, gotta have the right tools. If you don't have the right tools, you're screwed. So that's why I keep a good stock of 3 size breaker bars, all kinds of big wrenches, adjustable wrenches, as well as all kinds of wire cutters, pliers, vice grips, wire strippers, special sockets, special tools just to get the right angles. Gotta have the right tools, man. And of course your bucket of nuts and bolts, spares that you always need, grinders. Well, sort of fun. So I finally got the gas tank loose, but the throttle cable, the choke cable is actually attached through it, so I can't remove it without removing this. So just to make sure I have the right setting, I'm going to mark it with the magic marker, so I'll know exactly where to do it. Mark right there, I hope. So I finally got the gas tank off, and so there wasn't really a blockage in the gas tank, which is good. I just pulled the hose off, and I'm just draining the gas tank into my son's old Spider-Man water thingamajig. Anyway, so the hose is trashed. Hose was soft in one place, and it was basically just kinked, you know. But it's so soft, look, so soft in that kink area. It was like that, so fuel wasn't getting through. I'm going to change the fuel lines because, I mean, that's just trash, you know. So I'm draining it now, and I'm going to blow it out a little bit, clean up the cosmetic outer casing, and I'm just going to check and see if there's any water in it. I bet you there's water in it, for sure. How you can tell is that water is heavier than gas, so you just hold it up to the light and you'll see like a layer of water underneath the gas. So I did clean up this area, remember, with that parts cleaner. See, doesn't that look much better? It looks much better. It's like new. I'm going to clean that part area up too, as long as I got it apart. I have to figure out this breather hole here. There was a little flaky little thing sticking out. I don't know if it's attached to anything or is it just hang there. I'm not sure. If it just hangs there, I don't really need one, but anyway. So I'm really surprised. It's clean and fresh gas. Not any water in it. Well, do you see a little layer there? No? I mean, maybe a couple of drops, you know, of water, but all in all, man, this is actually pretty good gas. Maybe I'll keep it for later. One of my other stuff that needs to top off. Cool? So I'm gonna clean that off. Nice, huh? Hey, if you got it off and you're crazy like I am, you clean a gas tank, you know, make it nice and spit spot shine. So I've just rebuilt the fuel system here. I've got good lines going in now. Replaced the fuel filter into the fuel shutoff switch, and a new line going to the gas tank. I'm gonna vacuum that stuff out. Yes, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I've just vacuumed that out. That's nice and clean inside. And I also could see the steering gears are down there, so I WD-40'd that entire area. Also, I lubricated the joints in there too, as well as the throttle cable, the choke cable. So as long as you're in here, man, you can just spray some WD-40 all over the place, you know? Because it protects against dust and water, and it doesn't hurt anything. Actually smells kind of nice. So I'm going to now replace the fuel tank back into this thing and put it back together again. Okay, we got the gas tank back on again with the new lines. Now I'm going to put the throttle choke cable back on. In the meantime, I just cleaned my carburetor base too with another hose. So, done a lot today, you know. Starting to get there. Just gotta wait for that ignition switch, new magneto, and new carburetor. So magneto, carburetor, ignition switch. I'm now going to clean the contacts there of the magnet on the flywheel, as well as fix this safety switch wire that's been chewed up by the rats. Fix the safety switch. So now all I need is the new magneto. It's good to go. I'm gonna brush that off. See that? Gotta brush off that magnet, man. Get that rust stuff out. It has better contact now. So today we did quite a lot. Cleaned that magneto contact, fixed the safety switch wire, also the fuel line, fuel filter, fuel shutoff. Gas tank is put back and cleaned, drained and cleaned. And so all we're just waiting for is the magneto, the carburetor, safety switch, and we should be good to go.